Online Racing. This is EU tier. As you can tell, this is an evaluation race. I use air quotes for that. This is a break between Season 4, Season 5, and we use this time to let some new guys who are joining step in, get a feel for the league, get a feel for hang on. Alright everyone, sorry about that. Had some issues with my audio. But we're here around Mexico for this evaluation race. Like I was saying, this is a chance for people to just kind of get accustomed to the league, get a chance for some new guys to get a feel for what our kind of weekly routine is and get a feel for yeah, just the way the racing is. And then for our regular drivers, it's a nice chance to fill that break week and get some practice. So damage and safety car are turned off to try and keep things as just sort of as to eliminate as many of the variables as possible, to just make it so that guys can focus on their pace, focus on the overtaking, and just kind of show what they can do without maybe the safety car or damage throwing that off. So a little bit more of a laid-back race, like I said. Kind of those two big goals of the new guys getting a chance to get a feel for things, get their feet wet a little bit, and then for our regular guys to just get some more practice and stay sharp between seasons. So Mexico is the track of choice, and so normal schedule as a regular ZOR race with the short qualifying and 50% race, so nothing will be too different with that. Mexico, a good track to practice on as well, since it's pretty much going to be a two-stop for everybody, I would guess, so you'll get a little bit of a chance to play with the strategy a bit. But yeah, pretty small field. Some of the regulars taking a break, and we got several new names, as you can see over there on the left, so it'll be a nice chance for all of them to get a feel for things. We did this for Tier 1 and Tier 2 on Monday and Thursday, so you might have caught those same kind of vibe tonight. Excited to see how these new guys, how their pace factors in. You'll see we're missing a lot of our Miami's here, but we're missing Larkin and J. Cole as we demo a lot of the other guys who are up there in pace, so we'll see how they all do. Get a chance to get a feel for everybody before we start yet another season. It'll be Season 5. Stay tuned tomorrow for the schedule announcement night video thing. We're going to be doing a shorter schedule, not all 22 tracks, because we want to make sure the timing works out so the season ends right as the new game is coming out. So only going to be doing 18, and you can stay tuned to see which tracks got the boot tomorrow. Ooh, tough invalidation. That's Mexico, another track where not only where most people are going to be taking 2 pit stops, but also where track limits make a big difference here. Tons and tons of penalties, I expect. I think everybody on Thursday night's race for Tier 1 and Tier 2, I think pretty much everybody had a penalty, so it was just about how many penalties did you get. It's a very, very tricky track. One of the Renaults, I think Heron is pointing the wrong way. Not Heron, sorry. The other Renault. But yeah, Mexico, like I said, you have a couple sections. The first complex of corners, 1, 2, 3. Really, really tricky track limits there, and then as you're going through the S's as well, it's just tough. To maximize the lap time, you really got to go be super, super aggressive over the curbs and running wide on exit, but if you're not careful, you'll get some invalidations. But like I said, Mexico, pretty solid two-stop. You can do 2 sets of soft tires and a run on mediums. You can do 2 runs on mediums. You probably want to avoid the hard tires too much, especially with no safety car or VSC to give any shorter pit stops. I imagine most guys will stay off of the hard tires. But yeah, this is like I said, a lot different vibe to a normal race Sunday. Having no damage and no safety car will make the first lap, I think, a lot less stressful for a lot of people, and just be really about showing what pace they can do over all 36 laps around here. So let's follow along with Miami, who's on his out lap right now. One of the championship contenders for pretty much the entire season in Season 4 came down to the very last race. Miami was in the driver's seat for most of the championship, and then Larkin came on really strong at the end and just took it. So it's coming into the pits though, must just be getting a feel for things. We might see the likes of Miami might decide to start from the back as well. Let's follow along with Purple Squirrel. He's one of the new drivers, so let's see what he's got on his qualifying lap. He's got DRS open. See how wide he's going on entry into turn 1. He's not going to go full straddling the curbs, not full esports line, but looks pretty solid through the first couple corners. Pretty conservative, avoiding a lot of the curbs on the inside. Might be a little bit more gutsy on the next go around. A little bit of a lockup, very tough corner. And this is, I think, one of the hardest, most awkward corners on the track, this kind of double apex hairpin. Yeah, it's just awkward. And now the S's, which with the 2020 cars is pretty much flat out. We see a little bit of a lift there and a little bit of running wide, but you can be really aggressive for the S's here. Much more than you could in the last game. Pretty confident on the curbs here in the stadium section. Final corner runs a little bit wide. It's going to compromise his run a little bit, but pretty tidy lap. He definitely, I think, will have recognized some places that he might want to improve. Let's follow along with another one of the new drivers. King Wilsey. Can't tell, but let's see what he's able to do. Once again, this first kind of complex of corners can really make or break your lap. He's going a lot wider on entry there. If you get this right, you can gain a lot of time, and if you get it wrong, you can invalidate it, your lap, and it's done pretty quickly. I shouldn't say can make your lap, but the first sector can definitely break your lap. As pretty much any of these can. You can get invalidations all over the place here. Callie's setting the provisional pole lap of a 14.4. It's a very good time. Ooh, a little bit of lap traffic. Surprised with only 11 drivers in the session and 10 still setting times. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there coming out of the stadium section, but recovered pretty well. Taking the shortest run to the line, and he's going P2. He misses out on pole position by only 700, so a very, very solid showing from King Wilsey. Heron's also set a very good time. Heron was really coming on strong at the end of last season. Talked about that a few times. Dylan really came on strong there towards the end also, so yeah, a lot of pace in the EU tier as always, and it's exciting to see that there's even more being added this year, or for season 5, I should say. Trying to find anybody who's on a lap right now that's not invalid. Looks like we got a low fuel mode, I'm guessing. Ooh, big wobble there coming out of, like I said, that very awkward double apex hairpin. The traction on exit there is really tough, and I think the entry to that corner is also really challenging because it's just that those little short straights where you're not quite fully up to speed. You get on the throttle and then just immediately are on the brake again. So it's those are kind of awkward corners, I think, but they lead to some good racing sometimes and some good side-by-side opportunities. Let's see, RC's finishing up a lap. He's 2/10 up, so this might move him into the 14s if he can stay with this lap through the third sector. Pretty good final corner there. He should be in the 14s pretty easily. Yeah, with a 14.872, that puts him P3, so a very, very good lap from him. He's going to be pretty happy with that one. As we got Beck, who's joined in the McLaren. So I'm sure he'll be trying to get this setup in quickly and setting a lap here at the end of the session. You got, I'm not sure how to pronounce his PSN. I'll just call him Rick for now. I'll be sure corrected later, but Rick is in P8 at the moment. He had that big wobble last time, and looks like he's continuing for a second lap, so looks like he's got enough fuel for another run. With only 12 drivers in the session today, you know, qualifying will be important just for practice and for showing the league what you can do for the new guys, so but not as vital for the race setup. There's no points on the line, so he does improve to a 16.9. Unfortunately, that's not going to move him up the standings at all, but does put him a little bit higher up and closer to the rest of the crew. Let's see where Miami's going right now. And he has no time set yet. He's on the mediums right now, so he must be going to be running the reverse strategy in the races. He probably is not going. I was going to say, if he dove into the pits there, he might not even have time to get back around. But he's going to go 14.8, which is a very good time, and he's done that on the mediums. So let's get the everybody else to set their best lap on the softs. And he goes and drops a 14.8 on mediums, which is a very, very good lap. We've got a bunch of drivers on their out laps now for their final run. Looks like David something, David EK 311 is out right now. He's improved, but he's invalidated this time, so he should have plenty of time. Looks like he's turned down his battery. Hopefully has enough fuel to get another run in. He should have some pretty clear track ahead of him, as I think Beck is... Sorry, I just saw McLaren. That must have been Dylan on an out lap, so he'll be going for another lap. We've got a bunch of drivers queuing up in the second and third sectors right now. Let's see what King Willsy's doing. He's on a lap right now in P2 at the moment. Let's see what his second sector split is as he goes through. He's very close to pole position. It was only 700ths. So let's see. Ooh, runs wide there, but just keeps it inside the track limits. He's down on his best lap right now, but we'll see if he can get any improvement through this final sector. We might see him be a little bit more aggressive on the curves, and it almost costs him as a bit of a wobble. Let's see if he's been able to make any time up in this final sector. There he comes, and he's not able to. So a very solid lap, but unfortunately just not enough. Let's see what Heron's doing in the first sector. Actually, let's cut to Dylan as he is 3/10 up coming through the final sector. This will not be enough for pole position, I don't think, but it should move him up a few spots. And he's going to go P3 ahead of Miami, so a very good lap from him. Next across the line is going to be David K311. He's going to go ahead and drop a 14.8, so a very good lap from him as well. Heron coming through, but let's follow on with Beck as he's next across the line. Excuse me, it's Rocco who's going to be next across the line. Rocco's going to go a 16.0, so an improvement from him. Beck snuck in there with a 14.7, so a lot of drivers setting some really good laps at the end. Let's see what Heron's able to do right here at the end. He goes 14.6. So Miami was in P3 about 2 minutes ago, and now he's down in P7. So a lot of drivers setting times there at the end, and you can see from pole position, Callie set pole with a 14.4, so congratulations to him. But from pole position down to RC is only 4.5 tenths of a second, so half a second covering most of the field there. And yeah, we know how many quick drivers are missing who would be right around in that fight as well. So some really, really good laps, and just once again shows not only the pace that this tier has, but also how close the competition is. So we've got a couple more drivers who are joining up for the race, so we'll have an even more flushed out grid for the race, which will be exciting. But yeah, I think we'll be taking a short break in between, but just to remind everybody that this eval race, damage and safety car are both turned off, so much more laid back. Ooh, I don't know why we're getting this angle of Callie, but that's better. But yeah, damage and safety car turned off, so it'll be a lot more about drivers just getting a chance to practice with some consistency. Gosh, look at that. Less than a tenth covering the top three. So close. yeah, just a chance for drivers to practice some consistency and some overtaking and just have a bit of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. They always produce really good racing, and with a little bit less on the line, I imagine guys might be a little bit more. We might see a little bit more side-by-side racing if there's not the the threat of losing a wing or spinning on the line. So we might see a little bit more feisty overtaking, which Mexico is pretty good for that. You've got the long DRS straight. You can get some DRS trains forming around here. That happened on Thursday, but we might see people being a little bit more aggressive on how to break those trains. But oh, I forgot to mention also dry weather, so all the drivers know it's full dry for qualifying and the race. No threat of rain. Just once again to give drivers a chance to just practice in a little bit normal conditions without that variable thrown in. So, yep, and we're going to have the session starting here quickly. So, we had a few more last season. We had about 14 or 15 guys who would be there pretty much every week, and we've got several new additions this year, so we should have close to a full grid every week for the EU tier, which is really exciting. You love to see yeah, if there's 20 people all competing for points and for championship, you get a lot more exciting racing than normal. So Callie's leading them away on their formation there. Let's just run through and double check. We had a bunch of guys who joined at the end, so let's see what tire they were on. Mediums for most of the guys outside the top 10. We've got Purple Squirrel in 11th who started on softs, but everybody else starting on the medium tires. Softs here will go around 8 laps, feeling pretty good, and then they start to drop off. Mediums will go around 12 to 14 before they really start to drop off. So, you have some options in terms of the strategy. You can go soft, medium, soft. You can do, like I said, you can do 2 sets of softs and a set of mediums. You can do 2 sets of mediums and a set of softs. I don't think we'll see too many people run the hard tire. Really, in a normal race around Mexico, the only time you might see that is if there's a safety car and you can avoid a pit stop, or if there's damage or anything like that. But because it's a pretty short lap, and because it's a pretty short pit lane, 2-stop is going to be the way to go. So let's go ahead and get position change pulled up, and we will get ready for the start of this eval race. We got Storm rounding out the rest of the grid, settling into place. So we've got 14, which should be pretty good battle. Let's see. There we go. We got 5 red lights on, and it is lights out, and away we go for the eval race. Lots of smoke kicking up as we've got McLaren getting a very good start. Both McLarens getting very good starts. King Wilsey getting a very good start. Let's see, Callie, getting onto the grass a little bit before. Let's see, as they're going through the first turn, it's King Wilsey who's going to lead them through. Pretty clean behind. We've got somebody who spun around. Oh no, we've got an Alfa Romeo. Looks like Miami, and then David is backwards as well. We've got Jinnick going side by side here with Storm, and we've got Rocco sticking his nose in this battle too. Oh my gosh, we've got all kinds of action kicking off. Up at the front, King Wilsey is just leading the charge. Oh, Jinnick very close to the back there. medium tires seem to be the way to go in these opening stages. Kind of surprised. The soft's a pretty good tire around here, but all the medium runners have gotten very good starts. Let's take our attention back to the front. It's King Wilsey leading the charge. Callie is right behind Dylan, right behind as well. We have another yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure what that's for, but it looks like it's been cleared now. Might have been RC. He dropped back there at the end of the lap, but yeah, we'll wait for our timing glitch to get all sorted out. Another yellow flag up here. Got some weird yellow flags going, but does that fuzz into the pits or just slow? Not sure, but alright, now that our timing glitches settled down, we got King Wilsey, we've got Callie, Dylan, Heron, some very familiar names bringing up this charge here. Zenith has gotten by Storm. Rocco moving up the field as well. He's gained a position. We've got Fuzz backwards again, going slowly. I'm not sure what happened to Fuzz. Damage just turned off, so I don't know what might be going on with him. He might just be having a rough start to things, but RC has regained a position as we've got several drivers now vying for fastest lap. Let's go ahead and get the tire info up here as well. Ooh, we've got the AlphaTauri and Williams going side by side. Let's see. DRS not available, but overtake is enabled. Purple Squirrel is going to go try to take the long way around. Let's see if he's able to do it into turn 1. They leave the space. Ooh, RC shut the door on him a little bit. It was fair, but tough. And now Purple Squirrel's got some pressure from behind from the Renault. He's losing out on that position there. He's going to go side by side again. He just doesn't have it. He's got to back out of that and wait to fight another day, as looks like Rick is gone backwards and around, so he's now down at the back of the field. Let's see. Fuzz there with the lockup. Let's see what his problems might be fixing themselves. We've got the, unfortunately, got that rev glitch on him that makes his engine noise go crazy, but hopefully that gets resolved. Because we have 2 drivers picking up time penalties already, so I said it that this is going to be a track where I'd expect most people to pick up time penalties, as is the nature of it. We got Callie now with the DRS enabled. He's going to go for the overtake. He's going to go up the inside. And it was pretty easy in the end. We have Heron making an overtake inside. Dylan just can't quite hang on there. That DRS straight, if you get a good exit and have DRS and the car in front doesn't, then it's you have very little chance of defending there. We should see a nice inter-team battle from the McLarens now, as Beck, I'm sure, is going to be catching up as these guys are battling. Zenith and Storm have been kind of trading lap time here for a bit. Zenith able to pull a little bit of a gap. Both of these guys on mediums, though, so they will like their position later in the race. Miami going ahead and squeezing Rocco there on exit a little bit. We know what Miami can do. We watched him all season. Just sort of pick his way through the field and we know his consistency, so it could be interesting to watch him make his way through. But unfortunately, Fuzz has still got that glitch for me, which is no good. But got a nice battle up at the front, a nice train forming from first to about 5th. All those guys separated by about a second. Let's see if King Wilsey is going to try and get him back now down the DRS straight. No overtake needed. That's how powerful the DRS and slipstream are. He might be trying to use that to defend. They're going side by side. A little bit of a squeeze at the apex. It's so hard, and now Heron sneaking through. Heron might get 2 positions here. He's going to duck into the slipstream. He's got both of the P1 and P2 have DRS, so that was no good. But this is a great battle we got up here at the front, and Dylan and Beck are right there to pick up the pieces if any one of these guys makes a false move. So if this is any indication of what we're going to be getting throughout the rest of the season, then I am here for it. As Rocco picks up a time penalty. I'm sure those will all start to factor in later, but now we got a great train forming. These can sometimes be frustrating for the drivers in them, as Beck is making a really aggressive move and he goes in too deep, and he's going to be thankful the damage was turned off, because otherwise he would have been without a front wing and maybe without a front left wheel. Don't know if he just missed his braking point or what, but yeah, after that DRS might have just overcooked a little bit. But Heron right on the back of King Wilsey. No overtake used right now. He might be just trying to settle in for a lap. King Wilsey looks like he's done a good job saving, and he might be deploying some of it now in defense, but looks like he doesn't need to. He got a pretty good exit. These top three very, very close. Beck has fallen back a little bit from that mistake of going in deep. That gap has opened now to about 2 seconds, so we'll see if these guys battling slows them down at all, and if Beck's able to close that gap again. Looking down the rest of the field, though, gaps starting to emerge. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. RC picking up a time penalty. I love watching the onboards here when we have drivers that are battling this close. You can just see how tight they are, how close they are all on pace. We've got some overtake being used. DRS, thankfully for Dylan, that's what his goal is going to be right now. Beck is going into an early pit stop, so he's probably going to be fitting on, yep, a set of mediums right now, and I imagine a set of mediums probably later on in the race, or maybe even hards. We've got Callie and King Wilsey going crazy, as Heron was able to make an overtake for the lead there. So Beck must have just realized that his advantage on the softs was not going to be enough to claw back that gap, so trying to make that time up in the pit stops, as Callie goes a little bit wide there, and he's going to be losing some time. He's going to be vulnerable to Dylan here. If Dylan can get a good exit, get that DRS, they both have DRS, but Dylan gets a better exit. He's going to try for the inside, as Heron has picked up a time penalty up in the lead, so that's going to, we'll see if any of the other podium and race-winning contenders experience similar issues with time penalties, but I was kind of surprised. I thought Dylan might be able to go for it there, but Callie bailed out by the fact that he had DRS still, as Dylan now responding on the next lap, so he's trying to cover off his teammate. Callie now has fallen out of touch, as Heron has also been able to extend his gap and has gotten outside of DRS from King Wilsey behind, so the top five, which were separated by probably about 2.5-3 seconds, are now starting to be spread out and start to be disrupted by some pit stop strategy. So Dylan is going to come out ahead of his teammate. That gap is still about, well, it's coming down quickly now, but Beck definitely was able to close up that gap. So good job from Beck, as we've got some yellow flags behind us. Fuzz, somebody's going slowly. Don't know if that was somebody being lapped or just letting someone through, not quite sure exactly, but King Wilsey's going to be fighting. This is where he's going to be needing to use his battery. He's still got a lot of it. If I were him, I would have been using it all this lap, trying to get back, as we've got a slow Renault that's dropping down the field, it looks like, or maybe a Williams, hard to tell, but we've got Heron, looks like he's diving into the pits, so King Wilsey is trying to do the opposite, trying to go for the overcut. So it'll be interesting to see how all these guys funnel out with traffic, and this is one of the nice things about Mexico, as opposed to a track like, you know, Monza or Spa, those tracks that are for sure a one-stop. It's the nice thing about Mexico, with it being definitely a two-stop, and you get guys on different strategy. You never really know where things are going to shake out. Never really going to know how traffic's going to affect things. I think that's part of the reason it was chosen for this week for the eval race, and it adds that extra bit of strategy and mystery and drama and everything to the equation. But Callie has yet to pit. He had dropped back quite a bit from the rest of the top 5 or top 3, but looks like he's fallen back. And Zenith is this is where I said the softs will go about the softs will go, I think, up to 12 laps before they are really close to puncture territory, but they'll go about 7 or 8 of being quick. After that, the mediums are definitely faster, as we see that with Callie diving into the pits behind the race leader King Wilsey, which is going to mean that Zenith now is up into the lead. Miami also started on the mediums. He's going to be in P2. Let's see. Storm also started on the mediums. RC yet to pit, but it looks like Heron got that overcut to work and is now going to be the first of those drivers who has pit. So Heron must have just been able to find that right amount of clear air and navigate those other overtakes well, because now King Wilsey, Beck, Dylan, all battling again, all behind Fuzz, who started on the mediums and has not pitted yet. So lots of those couple laps right around the pit stop, really important here for navigating that traffic, like I said a minute ago. And unfortunately, Mexico, there are some good overtaking possibilities, but really they're through the first sector and part of the second sector. Really from about the point they're on the lap right now, until turn 1, there's really no chance of overtaking unless someone makes a big mistake. Even that DRS zone before the third sector, at the start of the third sector, is not a great overtaking spot unless somebody makes a mistake. But I imagine we will see an overtake here, as King Wilsey is going to have much better traction coming out of that final corner. He's got the DRS open. Fuzz is going to put up a fight. He's not making it easy. But Fuzz's rear light came flashing on there, so he must be very low on battery. Neither of the McLarens able to get by. Through the first couple sectors, so that will give King Wilsey a chance to maybe build up a bit of an advantage. Up in the front, Zenith still got about a 2-second gap to Miami. Storm has fallen back quite a bit from those two. Heron is in a nice pocket of clear air before he catches Storm and doesn't have any pressure from behind yet. That pit stop timing worked to perfection for him. Ooh, as we have a McLaren going a little bit wibbly-wobbly, Beck falling back a couple seconds again. So same part on the track where we saw him make a mistake. An attempted overtake earlier in the race, and he loses it again now. So tough corner for him, and his rear light's blinking, so he's used up a lot of battery trying to stay with his teammate, and now he's going to be exposed to Callie behind. Is Callie going to go for a move here? He's pretty far back. He's not, but Beck is struggling at the moment. Maybe Callie's going to be making a move into this next sector. Dylan is able to get by Fuzz, so that's going to free him up to chase down King Wilsey. Callie, going into the back of Beck, as Beck was moving over to the left to defend, as he's entitled to do, but just didn't. I mean, he's entitled to move there before the braking zone, but just yeah, just moved the same way Callie moved, and Callie had all that extra speed from the DRS and from the overtake, but now Beck has been able to get DRS back, so that's going to maybe allow him a chance to overtake Fuzz, or at least get close to it. So a really intense battle here between like about the top 5, who were all there battling for the race lead at one point. See, lots of overtake, lots of battery. Beck is flashing. He's very low. Callie might get this move done. He's going to go around the outside. So thankfully we have no more issues with moving on the straight, but let's see how aggressive he's going to be. Ooh, not good traction. Oh no, he's gone into the wall, so he loses it on traction there. I was going to see how aggressive he might be trying to overtake Fuzz, and looks like he was a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, and it cost him, as now not only has he lost that opportunity to try and overtake Fuzz, but he's lost that position to Beck, and he worked really hard to make that overtake. So Callie's struggling a little bit at the moment. Heron has disposed of the Ferrari, and he's really asserting himself at the front. He's going to need to build that gap because King Wilsey is yet to receive a time penalty. So, as Callie's picked up 2 penalties this lap, so probably a little bit of frustration coming into play for him, and picking up some yellow flags as a Renault is pointed the wrong way in the second sector. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's see if King Wilsey's going to go for it here. He's going to go to the inside, not even needing to use. This is the thing about Mexico. If you get a good enough exit, you don't even have to get the overtake, as Callie has retired, so I don't know what's going on there, but now there's 4 battling for the race victory, so King was able to get that move done, and he's done a good job conserving his battery here. He's got a couple seconds to Heron up the road, and he might think about using some of that overtake because we have another retirement. Might think about using some of that overtake to catch Heron. He also doesn't have a time penalty, which is important. Only him and Miami are yet to pick up time penalties. So, well, I say that. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Miami, you can blame me for that time penalty, as I've given the commentator's curse. But now we have 1 driver without, that's 2. Rick in P12 is yet to pick up a time penalty, as Fuzz picks up another time penalty. Let's see how we doing so far. Lots of 3, 6, 8 seconds for Storm. No one into double digits yet. Give it time. They'll get there, I'm sure. We've got the pit stops just kind of shaking things up a little bit here, as they usually do around Mexico. It's got the Renault. That was the retirement car, so I'm just pulling it inside. Fuzz has gone to the softs, so he and Storm will be putting in some quick laps now. I imagine he'll probably need to pit again. I don't think the softs will last to the end. Maybe mediums, but no, the softs won't last to the end. He'll probably pit again. Let's see. Not too many close battles yet. RC, I mean, he'll be struggling to keep up with Storm, who's on those fresh softs, but Heron's picked up another time penalty, so King Wilsey now, if he can keep it clean, might have a pretty easy race victory, all things considered. RC's sticking with Storm, and he might actually go for an overtake here. He's going to get it done, so Storm struggling through the S's there. RC able to take advantage of it and gets that overtake done, even though Storm has got the tire advantage. So we'll see if that holds for this next straightaway. If the exit Storm's able to get is enough. I imagine it should be. He's on the softs. Gonna be a better. Yep, he gets such a better drive out of there. You could tell as soon as as soon as they got onto the throttle, Storm just has so much more grip and has got that move done pretty easily even before the braking zone. But for RC, that's going to give him a chance to stay even closer. When you're on a tire disadvantage like that, if you can just stay in DRS, which at this track is a little bit funny because those first two are kind of linked, but if you can stay in DRS of the car and not make mistakes like a lockup, that can really change the race. We've got Beck, who's closed back up to his teammate again, so we've seen him close up twice now and has struggled twice at that same part of the track that we just saw him go through. So we'll see if he's able to maybe get an overtake done. He's just right on the DRS bubble there as Zenith has come into the pits and fitted soft tires. King Wilsey now, all of the pit stop stuff going to start to balance out a little bit. Miami came into the pits as well for some softs. So we got the top 6 that are all pretty tight, but all should be making one more pit stop. So there's about, let's see what the total gap is there. So about 9 seconds covering the top 10. And like I said, all of them will need to make one more pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see how those soft runners catch, how Zenith's able to catch with his fresh tires. And we might have a pretty exciting battle here towards the end of the race if they get bunched up a little bit. No safety car to help with that process, though. But I am going to step away for just a moment and be right back. I will leave it on... ooh, Beck again! Same part of the track! And that's going to lose a position to Miami. Oh, poor Beck. He's just that one spot. And it's caused him so much trouble. Zenith should get a pretty easy overtake here down the main straight. Yeah, he's almost got it done before the start-finish line. That's just how much work he's got. So we will leave it on Dylan for just a moment as I need to step away. And I'm sure when we get back, we'll have even more action. But we've got, let's see, Ferrari retired, but we've got still a really nice battle for right now for P3, but a nice battle inside the top 5. We've got another retirement. About 17 laps to go. It's a pretty short track because we've got Miami going to be making an overtake. Let's see if Zenith's going to get in on this. Oh, we might be going through wide here. Get on board with Dylan to see Zenith maybe making a double overtake. They're going wheel to wheel through the first sector. Neither driver giving an inch. Wow, they're going to be another drag race to this next braking zone. Both of them look like they have the DRS open. Let's see. We're on board here with Dylan watching the battle for P3. A big squeeze there. And a squeeze back. Wow, this is great racing. These two keeping it so close through the second sector. As I was saying at the beginning of the broadcast, the no damage probably makes that a little bit easier to do, as you don't have to worry too much about maybe losing a front wing or getting a puncture or something like that. So Zenith was able to come out on top there. I have a feeling Miami is not going to let the position go that easily. Let's see what he decides to do through the first two sectors here. Good exit, and he's got a very, very good exit actually. Zenith has almost no battery, doesn't even need any Miami opportunity to make this move. King Willsey picked up a time penalty. I must have missed that. Looks like it might be a battle between him and Heron to see who can pick up fewer time penalties. Dylan and Beck are starting to fall back just a little bit from these guys. Let's get back to the end of the time there. So we've got a Williams sideways. That might have been the retirement Williams. That's the nice thing about the safety car turned off is the retirements don't trigger a safety car VSC. See if Jim's going to try to get him back here. These guys have been going back and forth. They're getting close to King Willsey, sorry, in front, and they're going to need to those medium tires of the front two, 10 and 11 laps old. They're going to be feeling it. The softs will only be good probably for another 3-4 laps maybe before they really start to fall off, so this is their chance to not only close that gap but maybe even make some overtakes here, so we'll see how aggressive they decide to be. We've already seen these two, Zenith and Miami, going side by side for the better part of 2 sectors, so let's see if they try and keep that up. Miami getting a very good exit there. Almost thought he might try and make a move going into the S's. He's staying very close. Let's see if he goes for it now. Got the DRS flap open, but even with DRS, the straight just isn't quite long enough, and you get enough dirty air through the S's that you just can't quite make the overtake. So Beck picks up a 3-second time penalty. Miami getting a pretty good exit there. I have a feeling, yep, he's been using his overtake. He's getting that move done. Let's see what Zenith decides to do. He's pretty far back. He fell back a little bit there, but Miami able to get that move done before the braking zone. Zenith thought about it. You saw him pull out of the slipstream there right at the last minute. Thought about it. Let's see if he goes for it here, though. Very good exit over the curb. Don't know if he picked up a warning for that or not, but a very good exit. He's got the DRS, he's got the overtake. Oh, they touch! They touch! And once again, damage. No damage is a beautiful thing for some close racing. And he kind of forces himself through there. I think it was fair, but a little bit of a squeeze King Willsey gave going into that braking zone after the second DRS straight, but Beck picks up another time penalty. So Heron's out in the lead. Let's pull up some time penalties again. Jin's got 12 seconds, so he might be dropping back a little bit. Heron up in the lead. He's got 6. Miami's got 3. So I'm sure there'll be more penalties picked up over the remaining laps. I think Heron's diving into the pits now, so I imagine he's going to fit a set of mediums. I don't think you'll want to take softs to the end from here. Yep, and he's got some mediums prepared. So going for the undercut again, that helps him get the race lead earlier at the first set of pit stops, and he's going for it again. He might actually have a little bit of dirty air from some of these drivers behind. He's going to come out pretty far down the order behind that 3-way battle of Fuzz and I don't really know who else is there. Fuzz and Rick and Purple Squirrel. I think there was... yeah, I think a couple of those guys might be a lap down. I'm not sure. Or a long way back. It's hard to tell. But Heron decided to go for the undercut. Navigating a little bit of lap traffic now, so that must have been what it was. It must have been Rick and Purple Squirrel a lap behind. Now he's just got Fuzz to contend with. Fuzz started on the mediums, dropped back really far, pit for the softs. He's been making pretty good headway on those. We've got somebody up at the front, King Wilsey, diving into the pits, so it'll be close to see where Heron comes out in regards to him. He should come out ahead. And by a little ways as well. King Wilsey, you know, at that point, maybe think about staying out another couple laps and going to the softs, but he decided to box. He should come out ahead of his teammate, RC, in 7th. Heron and Fuzz going side by side. Fuzz just doesn't quite have the grip there on the old softs to fight like he might have a few laps ago. Miami and Jinnit looking pretty good up at the front. Jinnit closing that gap down to about half a second. We'll see. These two have been kind of battling for the better part of the race. Miami's going to blink first, though. He's coming into the pits. I imagine probably fitting a set of mediums. See what tire he goes to. Jin, now that his tires are a lap younger, he might decide. Yep, as Miami is going on to the mediums. Dylan coming into the pits as well, I imagine, putting on the mediums. Yep. Jinnit might decide to stay out for a couple laps and go for some softs. Especially if he has a fresh set that he didn't use in qualifying, or a couple, he might decide to stay out and go for the softs. That would give him a serious pace advantage later in the race. Beck, you know, if I'm Beck, you know, you can pit, you'll probably come out and, you know, it doesn't really matter anyway. But if I'm Beck, this might be a time that I say, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to try to run to the end on these tires. Just run them into the ground, and if you get a puncture, you get a puncture. No points on the line. Have a bit of fun and drive till the tires explode. But I imagine we'll see him probably pit this lap. Fuzz picks up a time penalty. Had Rick going to the hards. I didn't think we'd see the hard tires, but somebody felt brave enough to give him a shot. Let's see what Beck decides to do. He's got a lot of traffic queuing up behind him in the form of Heron and Miami and Fuzz, who has a lot of time penalties and needs to pit again. Runs wide. We got 3 wide going across the start-finish straight. Unfortunately, Beck not going to have DRS, is really going to be left out in this battle. Miami got the better exit. Heron right in the slipstream there. Beck falling behind just a little bit. Ooh, Beck really struggling on those tires. Maybe scratch what I said about taking those to the end. It seems like he really needs to get in and get some fresh tires on. I think at this point he could probably go to the softs and be okay. Might be why he decided to stay out another couple laps. The undercut here for Heron didn't quite work as well against Miami. Miami on a slightly different strategy, but both of these drivers have had great pace all afternoon. And I'm sure it'll be a tense battle to the end. See what time penalties they're each working with. Heron's got 3 extra seconds, so if he can pressure Miami into another mistake, or if he can get by and build a gap, it'll be hard to do, but possible. Jinnit's coming into the pits, and he did decide to stay out that extra couple laps and go to the softs, so he's going to have to contend with some tire wear the last couple laps, but if he can, only a 1.5 seconds behind P2, if he can make good on these tires, and that's going to be a track warning. I'm sure as he cuts the corner there, but if he can make these tires work and get the best out of them, he might be able to be able to get the race win here. He's got a lot of penalties though, so I say race win. Race win on track. He's got 12 seconds in penalties. And so far, everybody has made their 2 pit stops. So I imagine most guys will be going to the end. We have a couple who are a lap down, but got really any one of 4 drivers who might be able to contend for the victory based off of penalties and things. So as Jim's picked up another time penalty. I think that's 15 seconds now. I can laugh at that because I only had 12 seconds on Thursday, and so he has more than I did, so I can laugh at the 15 seconds. I couldn't at 12, but I can at 15. Heron trying to break that slipstream. He knows how quick those soft tires are. Jinnit, I imagine, will be able to make this overtake. Even if he's not going to keep the position because of time penalties, I'm sure he's going to get this overtake done here. The real challenge, we'll see if he can get Miami. He and Miami were on the same strategy for a lot of the race. He decided to extend that middle stint on the softs. They both started on mediums, went to softs. Jinnit decided to extend his medium stint by a lap and his soft stint by a couple laps, so that he can run softs now at the end and see how that improves his chances. He's still just on the cusp of DRS. I say that as he is bouncing back and forth corner by corner above and below that 1 second DRS gap. Does not have DRS available this lap, but can still see the slipstream and the advantage of those soft tires, how much time he's gained on the straight. Let's go ahead and check fastest lap. It's set by Storm right now. Can't really tell. 16.4, I think. Yeah, 16.421. So we'll see if anybody decides to take a crack at fastest lap towards the end of this race as well. Jinnit going for it now. He's got the DRS open. I'm sure he's going to be using... Actually, not using very much overtake. I think he was just a little bit too far back. Miami in a very good position to win this race. He's got a gap to Heron on track, and he also has fewer time penalties than almost anyone else in the session. So Miami, I think, should... I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but he should be able to win this after penalties and everything, even if Jinnit's able to get by in the next couple laps. Jinnit's using the overtake. He's going to go to the inside. And there is the move done, even before we get to the braking zone. Alright, now let's see what kind of gap he needs to build. Just 12 seconds. That's all he's got to build. Over the next 5 laps. I don't think so, but... I'll go ahead and stay here up at the front. It's the closest battle on track anyway we have. I believe the final roster and track list and teams and everything for EU should be released tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it'll hopefully be out by next week, so we should see some get some idea of what this next season's going to look like. And like I said, we'll also get the tracks that are going to be skipped over. Miami's able to stick with Jimmy right now. He's actually going to go for it here. Around the outside. So he's going to try the switchback. Ooh, corner right there. So that's what I was saying about that corner. Just right as you get on the throttle, you have to get on the brake. Really tricky traction coming out of that section too. The S's feel totally different in this year's game, because you can take so much of them flat in qualifying. You can't really in the race, or you can't really when there's dirty air from the car in front. But there, you can be a lot more aggressive through there than you could last year. Timing went, but pretty soon. Miami's been able to stick with him, even though Zenith's on the better tires. Like I said, about 5-6 laps is really where the softs are going to be faster. I think beyond that, they're going to start to be even, and then probably the last couple laps, the mediums will be faster again. So the softs are not as bad as a track, say, like Singapore. I think I said that during the EU, the race here a few weeks ago. The softs are not as bad as Singapore, where they're good for about 90% of one lap. Here they can be good for at least a couple laps. Miami picks up another time penalty, so that dirty air causing them a few issues. We have Beck retiring from the session. 2 retirements. We're down to only 9 runners. Seven on the lead, or sorry, 8 runners, 7 on the lead lap. Battle for the lead here, still the closest battle on track, not including time penalties. a feeling we'll probably see Miami make a move in the next couple laps. Let's see. He's got quite a bit of battery left. Zenith does not quite have as much left. And like I said, the mediums now probably, as Miami picks up another time penalty, so the dirty air is causing him a lot of trouble. He's up to 12 seconds. I feel like just a few laps ago he had 3. Zenith's up to 18, so Miami, actually now, he should still be okay. He's still in position to get the race victory, but yeah, the dirty air causing a lot of problems for him. Yeah, he should be okay, as most of the other drivers do have some penalties, so. He's going to go for it here, or trying to go around the outside, braking late, squeezing Zenith on the apex. You can somewhat get away with that here, as you can be pretty aggressive on the curbs, and Zenith just gone around. I don't think there was any contact there. I think that was just trying to be a little bit too aggressive when the tires were not there for it. That's going to put Miami back in the lead, so he'll have a nice kind of victory lap, so to speak. He should, as most other drivers have 9 seconds now, with the exception of Dylan. I guess this was the final lap. I thought they had one more. That final last lap overtake for the on-track victory was going to be his anyway. Congratulations to Miami. He's gonna get the. I didn't realize it was the final lap. I thought we had one more. Zenith slamming into the wall as he crosses the line. He should be demoted to P3, as Heron's gonna pick up that last podium spot. King Wilsey finishing just outside the podium. Good first race from him though. Fuzz starting at the back, dropped way back. Coming back to finish P5. Dylan, good job. He's going to jump Fuzz for P5. RC coming around now through the stadium section to finish off his race. P7 for him. Ooh, a little bit wobbly. Pulled a Valtteri Bottas there going into the wall on exit. And yeah, that was the eval race. So lots of information for everyone. We did the eval for tier 1 and 2 to figure out where guys should be. This one was just for a bit of fun and to get the new guys a chance to race. So I believe we still have one more week until the first race of the season, but thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Got some good wheel-to-wheel racing there. Nice little strategy battle as well. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you back here for Season 5 of Zenith Online Racing EU tier. Thanks everyone. We'll catch you guys later.